I hope you can see my screen and you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir, we can.
Okay. Okay. So hello, everyone. It's a great honor for me to talk at this Doctoral Student Association conference. My name is Bilge Karabacak. I am a lead faculty at Computer Sciences and Mathematics Department. Okay, so I spent 12 years pursuing a PhD. I was employed full-time, and I know it isn't easy to pursue a degree while working full-time. After I spent 6 years and failed on my first PhD, I started and completed a new one at another university, proving that success is a collection of failures, right? So in the second attempt, I had lots of experience, found good research questions, and used a research method that is congruent with the data I collected. In this presentation, I will summarize my 12 years of cumulative PhD experience in 5 steps. Okay, so I want to provide a clear context for this presentation. I am not providing guidance on how to perform your doctoral research after your research proposal is approved. These 5 steps are not part of your actual doctoral research. Instead, they are the things you should be doing along with your doctoral coursework. This is represented by the red box here. So spread your research design over a long period of time. You can start designing your research as early as at the beginning of your coursework, and you will have a long time till the end of coursework. So this is a habit thing, and so give you just 1 or 2 hours every week, for example, and the steps that I will be sharing today actually will help you prepare a solid doctoral proposal. And I am very happy to see that the tips I am sharing today are pretty feasible by applying the routines shared by Dr. Churchill. So here is step 1, identify a field of research. The term field represents quite a broad thing here. I am not telling you to identify your research topic. Instead, identify your field of research. This will be the field in which you cultivate your seeds during your actual dissertation process. Your seeds are your research questions. Let me give an example. The intersection of traditional and contemporary topics are fertile fields of study to find some interesting research topics. In this figure, you see the intersection of accounting and blockchain. This is the field of one of my doctoral advices indeed. This is a good field of study. The intersection of accounting and blockchain looks like a fertile field to find a research topic. If everything goes well, a small circle within this field can be your research topic. Just as a random topic, for example, the factors that affect the acceptance rate of blockchain by accounting firms might be an example of the small circle in this field of study. So here is some guidance for you. Are you passionate about the field? Do you have some experience in the field? Is there some alignment with your profession? So I should say the strategic alignment mentioned by Dr. Churchill. Is there a strategic alignment? So if your answer is yes to these questions, that field might provide you with good research topics. You might consider changing your field of research if you are giving a no answer to at least 2 of these questions. The second step is literature review. Literature review is critical. It makes you familiar with what others did in the field you chose. Without the literature review, you will be like blind in the field. The literature review provides a snapshot of the trends and patterns in the selected field and clarifies future research direction. So you will already make a comprehensive literature review in your doctoral research after your coursework, and you will hopefully find a gap in the literature. In this research design phase, actually, let's name it an early literature review. Make your review as comprehensive as you can. Include academic literature, gray literature, and white papers. For academic literature, don't forget to include dissertations in your portfolio, as you can review the details of what other students did. You can download Franklin students' dissertations on the Franklin Fuse page. ProQuest is the most inclusive dissertation database, and you can access it using your Franklin credentials. You may not find a clear and distinct gap in the current literature at this research design phase, but don't worry. But try to divide the research field into small pieces that might be considered as research topics and categorize the potential topics within that field. Try to identify at least one potential research topic that targets a potential gap in the literature. Try to convert it into a research question. And then finally, I suggest that you can share your studies with an SME to get some feedback. So the step 3 is about data. So here, research method and research data are two pieces that work together to find an answer to your research question. So your research method is like an engine, and data is the fuel of this engine. Engines will not run without fuel, right? So research methods will be useless without any data. Moreover, the engine and the fuel must be compatible. For example, if your data is qualitative, your research method should be a qualitative method. So step 3 is about confirming the availability of data. Step 4 is the next step will be about choosing a research method. So this step 3 and step 4 can be swapped. I mean, you may select a research method first, but in my experience, starting with data and checking the availability of data first is a more reasonable approach, because data is a more scarce resource than research methods. You have plenty of research methods available. However, their success is dependent on the availability of data. So it is a wiser approach to first check the availability of data and type of potential data. And depending on this information, you can quickly identify your research method. Note that in this step, in step 3, you are not collecting data. You are not making any data analysis. Instead, you are just doing feasibility on the availability of data to make sure that the data collection will not be at that end in your doctoral research. And at this phase, if you plan to collect data from your employer, you may plan to start necessary communications and get permissions. Step 4 is about research method, as I mentioned. In step 4, explore the different research methods and identify the candidate methods that fit your data. In this phase, you are not actually using a research method. You are not analyzing any data, but the purpose of step 4 is to identify and dry run, simulate candidate methods. It's a simulation, it's a test. In this step, decide on a research method or a few methods that can analyze your data, that will be compatible with your data. So from the broader perspective, the purpose of the previous step and this step is to identify a research method and research data pair. So you will have an engine and you will have a data, and you will have your car can go anywhere. So there are essential courses in Franklin's research core, right? So use these courses to your benefit. Try to find your research method and confirm the availability of data while taking these resources, these research courses. So the last step is about drafting your research design. In this final step, draft your research design. Just document what you did in this research design phase. So documentation is very important. So this draft will be very helpful in preparing your research proposal and you see major milestones and processes on this page, the more your research design is bulletproof, the easier will be your research proposal and your dissertation process. So as a summary, these 5 steps are not sequential. It is not like a production line from step 1 to step 5. You can even think of having some of these steps run simultaneously. So you are a doctoral student, and the research should be an inherent part of your studies. So the research design should be in tandem with your coursework, such as English 800 and other research core courses. So research design is similar to building a foundation for a building. So if your design is strong, then your research proposal will be strong, and your doctoral research, oral defense, and dissertation will be strong. So for questions and comments also, I can definitely answer your questions in this after presentation, but if you create a free account on the Lucid app, you can access a flow chart showing these 5 steps, and you can put your questions and comments on the flow chart. So this is my contact information, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your presentation today. Does anyone, I cannot see the participants, does anyone have any questions? I do have one, but I'm waiting if somebody else has it first. I don't want to take the time. Not really. What is your take on secondary data?
What is your take on secondary data?
For the dissertation, should students, kind of always try to collect original data, but sometimes there are a lot of things that are available already. I wonder whether you had any opinion about like what is perhaps a good strategy when it comes to using secondary data or original ones.
I think data is the most scarce resource in doctoral studies. So in my PhD, I used the original data. I had the opportunity. I was lucky enough to use an original data, and there was a strategic alignment between my job and my doctoral study. But I know data is a scarce resource. So I would use probably some sort of secondary data in my PhD in order to complete my PhD. But I would talk with my doctoral advisors how to use that data and whether it would be a dead end or not. So those are the things that they should talk with the advisors, and maybe they are talk with methodologists, those kind of people.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are there any questions? Well, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for your presentation. Sure. Tanya, you want to say something? No. Okay. Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say thank you for your presentation and information. It's really helpful and insightful as we go through this program as well. So thank you for coming today and presenting.
You're welcome. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Cecily is having some Wi-Fi issues. She will be back when that happens. But at this time, I think we have